Zoom is one of the most popular applications these days for online education. Now, Zoom also has been criticized for its security breaches or compromising the security of the clients. While these criticisms may still prevail, it is to be known that as clients or as end users, if we take certain precautions, we can use this application quite well and successfully, because this is one such applications among others that can work in low bandwidth as well. So this short video is therefore about how we can use Zoom application, and particularly on a smartphone, because in Indian context a lot of us use smartphone for using such applications. So let us head straight into Zoom. This is the home screen that you find in Zoom. The first is, what steps or what precautions do we take while scheduling a session? So let us go into scheduling. The normal protocols wherein you write a topic. It's always better that you write a topic. So maybe we write lesson 1, whatever. It can be anything that requires as per your requirements. Date, let me keep the date as it is, or you can even change the date. Now time, for now let me keep 7 to 7:30. This is the time that is coming up for now. And it's also to be known that Zoom has removed that 40-minute cap for education institutions due to COVID. So if you are part of an education institutions, do register yourself as a school with the school ID and you should be good to go. Time zone is to be set, which is quite understood. Use personal meeting ID. Now this is a big difference that has come with the new update. It is auto disabled, which means every time you create a meeting or schedule a meeting, you get a new ID, or your meeting gets a new ID. So a person cannot join in the meeting without your knowledge. So if you choose this, then all your meetings will have this ID. So it is better that keep as it is. Now meeting password, it is recommended that you have a password, but the auto-generated password is slightly complicated. Now those of us who are joining from mobile in a meeting might find it really tough. And again, if you are joining from a link, you don't need to input the password. But if you are joining through a meeting ID, then the password is required. But while we set it up, we can also make this password simpler. That's totally your choice. But I would like to keep a simpler password, maybe 11220 and whatever. It can be 4 digits, 5 digits, 6 digits. It can be anything. Coming to meeting options, it is your choice whether you want to keep the host video on while you start. Now, when the host video is on, it is always a welcome gesture. The participants who come in will know that you are already there. You can greet them and they can greet you back. But even though you disable it now, you can always enable it as you start the meeting. But let's keep it on. Participant video on. It's again a personal choice that you need to make, whether you want to see the participants as they come in or you allow them later on. And even the participants themselves can disable or enable video as they would like. Do not go to complete the settings before you go into these advanced options. Advanced option has enable waiting room. Now, even by chance, if the waiting room is disabled in your case, please make sure that you enable the waiting room, which means you need to allow the person to enter into the meeting or join a meeting. The next one is allow join before host, meaning to say that you have scheduled a session for 7 o'clock. A participant accesses the ID and logs in by say 5 minutes or 10 minutes before. And when it is disabled, it will make sure that the person is kept waiting until you start the meeting, which is important. The rest automatically record meeting. It doesn't apply on the mobile because it has to be generally on the laptops. But there are still options for the recording. Now, let us set it up. So it is done. There is no option to share it on WhatsApp as of now. It is only emails. So we just cancel out. So there is a meeting ID. It is very different from the ID that was generated. So here the meeting ID is very different, which is very good. So each time you get a different ID. Now, in case you want to share this with your students, go to add invitees, use the last option, which is copy to clipboard. Now, copying to clipboard will mean that you can share it on your school communication applications or through WhatsApp. It is recommended and rather highly recommended and advised that you do not share this meeting ID or meeting link on social media. Fine. So if you go to the meetings, you have these meetings scheduled and you can start off. So even the meeting is scheduled for tomorrow, you can actually start today. But unfortunately, there won't be any participants unless you call them earlier. And you can also edit and reschedule the meeting as you like. Fine. Let me now start a meeting. So these are some of the settings or precautions that we can take while we schedule the meeting. Now, once we started the meeting, there are a few more settings that will help you uh, prevent any unwanted scenario so let us look into that. So instead of scheduling a meeting, I'm just starting a new meeting. And what I would also do is I will allow while this is being set, I will also some of them to join me. Yes, so there is someone joining now, and I will have maybe one more person join so that it becomes easier. Okay, so I have two persons joining. Okay, let me admit. So this is because I have set the waiting room. Okay, so I have two participants now. I am the host. Then there is one participant demo, another one is test. Now, while this is on, the meeting has just started. As a host, what you need to do is immediately go into the settings. So you have these, so press the screen once, you get this mute, start video, share, participants. So wherein you can check the participants, you can mute everyone, unmute everyone. That is depending on you. So let me stay with here. So it is good that as a class, when you take a meeting or when you take a class, in order to make the class less noisy or completely free from all noise, you can mute all. Now, in this, there is one little trick. The app says allow participants unmute themselves. So this means that, so make sure that this is unticked. So now, even if the participant wants to unmute themselves, they cannot, but you have to manually unmute them, which is actually better. So I can mute everyone, and I can also unmute everyone whenever they need to. Okay, so accordingly, this keeps changing. Okay, now let me go to more. And in this more sections, you go to meeting settings. So waiting room is on. Once the meeting is started, say you have 10, 15, 20 participants, and you know that majority of them have joined. It's about 5 to 10 minutes. You've seen that everyone has joined. Now you have an option to lock meeting. Now, what this means is now the meeting is locked and none of them, whether they have the username or password or meeting ID link, they cannot join the meeting. But there is also a flip side. If there are students who accidentally move out because of the network issues, they cannot return to the meeting because you have locked them out. So it is again your choice whether you want to lock, but let's have it as of now open. Waiting room. Now, the other important part is allow participants to do what? Generally, it comes with share screen is enabled. As teaching faculty, it is better that you disallow share screen, which means only the host can share screen because you are teaching, you are sharing your screen. Students, unless you want them for a specific purpose, they don't have to share screen. So do not enable. This is now enabled. You need to disable it. The other function is chat. Now, in my case, I have already set it as host only. But in general conditions, it will be as chat with everyone. Again, for all discipline purposes, it is advisable that you make it chat to host only, meaning to say students can chat or raise a question only with the teacher. If everyone is allowed, then it becomes a little messy. So please make sure that chat is reserved to host only. Now rename themselves. It's good because it's harmless. You can do it. Mute on entry. This is again a choice that you need to make. Otherwise, as I earlier said, you can mute everyone. Okay, let me close. Some of these settings will help you manage the Zoom class very well. Now, generally, as teachers, we share screens, and particularly we use whiteboard. And in whiteboard, one bigger problem for whiteboard is even before you start writing, there are some students who write. See, I haven't started writing, but there are some students who are smart or naughty. They can start writing. And this is something that can unsettle you as a teacher. Now, how to do that? Before you start using your formatting options and your screen has been just set, once again, go below there, look at these three dots, more, go to meeting settings. All what you need to do is come down to content share. There it is written annotate. So what students are doing is they're annotating your screen. The magic is disallow or disable. Now students will not be able to use this. So this is something that you need to keep in mind. Disable annotate while share screening. Now the problem here is some of you would start writing first and then realize the children are making, or disturbing you, or they are also scribbling. You will panic, you want to stop, you will not get these options. Again, you need to go back. You need to go back onto the main screen of shared screen and then do it. You can disable the annotate. Now, there are participants whom you may find as unruly, noisy, no matter what you do. Now, these many settings will help you. One, they will not share the screen, they will not chat with random people, and they will not also scribble. And you have a control on who is admitted. Yet, if there are some issues, you can remove a participant. Now, when you remove a participant, in most cases, because you're sitting at the back end also maybe in the same manner, in my case, if I remove a participant, that participant will not be able to join in the same meeting again, because practically you have shut or locked him or her out of the meeting. And therefore, so you can put the person back onto on into the waiting room, or you can also make host. So there are a few other features that are definitely there. I think these are some of the security settings that you can look at. And if there are anything else, we can definitely help the teachers overcome uh, whatever the struggles that they have. So let me stop share screen. And now participants are all in here. I think these are some of the settings. And the final one, you need to end your class, end your meeting. Now, there are two options, and these options are not even there in Google Meet. Here you have two options. One is, as a host, you can leave the meeting, which will mean that the meeting will be carried on by the rest of your students or participants. You would not like to do that. What you need to do is end meeting for all, which will mean that all others will be forced kicked out or forced ended. Their meetings also will end as you end the meeting. So you end the meeting, you are back to your page, and you would have completed a good session using Zoom. There are also a lot of other uses of Zoom through screen share by integrating different applications. But this for now is about the security that you and I can take up or take care of while using Zoom for our educational purposes or for conducting any sessions or webinars. Hope you have liked it and that this will be useful for you.